Hello everyone, Paulo P13 here, and welcome to today's video. Today's video, I am doing another raid ranks explanation. Today I am talking about the Brawler tag, and my final video, which probably won't be tomorrow, maybe the day after that, will be on the supporter tag, and that will finish them all off, and then that'll get all this out of the way. So, wanted to kind of push through it. So I'm going to be quickly going over all the Brawlers and discussing why I think they rank where they do in my raid ranks review, so how these characters all perform in raids. I'm going to clump them all together as much as possible, so this doesn't take too much time. And we are starting off with a group of three. First off, we have Ultimus. He is slow, and he's not a very good character. He has a nice little ultimate that can possibly take down a Luke Cage in one shot, and that's basically what he's good for. It has some synergy with the KREE, but he's not the best KREE. Next, we have Captain Marvel. She is incredibly fast, amazing kit, hits really hard, does a lot, and super fast, and she is a KREE and a hero brawler. A lot of different tags that can work pretty well. Very interesting character, amazing. Finally, we have a MONSTROSITY. He is pretty slow. Let's look at his speed. Yeah, very slow. He hits pretty hard, and he gives himself defense down, which isn't great, but he does heal himself every turn once you get him to a certain point. So in raids, you can see, in general, if you put him on a random team, a MONSTROSITY and Ultimus are special no's. They're not great characters to use in this circumstance. They're just too slow. However, Captain Marvel is the complete opposite. She's fast, a lot of use. She is an ultimate, yes, amazing character. And if you count synergy, Captain Marvel's still the same. Very good. She can fit on a lot of different teams and do a lot of good things. A MONSTROSITY with synergy is bad because, well, AIM is a bad team, so you don't really want his synergy. So he's a basic no. Ultimus takes a little step up into an ultimate no because there's some synergy with the KREE, but it's just not great. He is actually a detriment to the KREE team, even though the KREE are pretty good. Now we talk about a suicide team. Ultimus and a MONSTROSITY stay the same because there's not much to talk about there. And Captain Marvel stays the same too. She is an ultimate, yes. So out of these characters, the only one you really should use for raids will be Captain Marvel. Next off, we have BLADEMASTER. Decent speed, okay damage. Not much else to his kit. Nebula has an interesting kit, but she doesn't really do a lot of damage. She gets evade, which is cool, and some counterattack. And a bit of a dodge chance and a chance to revive, some pretty cool things, but her health pool isn't great. So overall, it's just a little underwhelming unless it's a 1v1, and Nebula is the king of 1v1 battles. She is hard to take down when she's on her own and you're fighting one person. Now you have KREE Reaper. A little while ago, this would have been a bad character, but KREE Reaper hits pretty hard and actually has some good synergy when put with other KREE. So in raids, I give BLADEMASTER a basic Y, Nebula a ultimate no, and finally KREE Reaper is a special Y. The reason that they're a little different is KREE Reaper just has a little bit more damage than the other two, and that really helps her out. And her kit just has a bit more to it. Nebula's damage is a little underwhelming, so she is one of the few named characters all the way down in the no tier. Now, if you count synergy, Nebula does not change at all. BLADEMASTER does not change at all. KREE Reaper goes all the way up to an ultimate why not, and that's because she works really well with the KREE team. She helps get some energy, does some damage, so it works really good. That added speed bonus is really nice from Ronin, but overall, if you have synergy, you should use KREE Reaper. You can use KREE Reaper, but there's probably better choices out of the KREE anyways, but you really shouldn't be using any of these characters just on their own. Now, if you're talking about a suicide team, again, don't really use Nebula, don't use BLADEMASTER. He takes a big fall down because his damage just isn't good enough, but KREE Reaper stays right where she was for a synergy team as an ultimate why not. It means you can use her and she will do some damage, but there's probably better characters, but she's definitely usable if you just need to take down one node, get a big hit there with her special. Okay, this next group of three characters actually fits pretty well together. First off, we have Daredevil. He is fast and he hits pretty hard, has a very annoying dodge chance, and he is a defender, and he's a very vital member of the defenders. Next, we have Iron Fist, who, if you put him on his own team, he's not exactly a healer, but on the defenders, he's definitely a healer. He does some decent damage and some other interesting things. But then you get ELEKTRA. ELEKTRA is a member of Hand. She's an okay character. She's decently fast and can do some damage from time to time. But there's just better characters overall. And if you just put them on a random raid team, here I have Daredevil as a special why not. And I also have Iron Fist there. Admittedly, his characterization is a little bit... it's a little synergy dependent. I know it's not the synergy part, but he is there because there's also some city allies he can heal, so he can be a little helpful in that sense. But if you just put him on a team of 4 Cosmics and Iron Fist, he'll take a step down. So there's a bit of synergy considered here, but Daredevil definitely works well on his own, but he's better with the Defenders team. ELEKTRA is an ultimate Y. The damage is good, the speed's good, but there's just so many better characters in the game to use in a raid than her. Now you count synergy, ELEKTRA doesn't change. However, Iron Fist becomes an ultimate yes because he is an incredible healer for the Defenders. He's really what makes that Defenders team work. And Daredevil, he takes a step all the way up to special yes, and that's because he works so much better on a Defenders team. He also gets the added bonus of being a hero brawler, so he works well with Ms. Marvel. For suicide teams, ELEKTRA falls down to a basic why. She shouldn't be used. There's just better damage characters. Daredevil hangs on as an ultimate why not. He's just a bit below some of the other characters because you could use him in a hero brawlers team and he'd be very good on it, but then that would be taking apart the defenders, and that's probably a bit detrimental, so there's a better strategy to use. And Iron Fist is a basic why not because his damage isn't great enough to really shine in a hero brawlers team. So you could use Daredevil and Iron Fist for one node, but they're better used when they're fully on the defenders, and ELEKTRA probably can be ignored. These next 3 characters actually fit pretty well together because they all have a similarity in their kit. Carnage, I love Carnage, does a lot of damage, a lot of utility, he's super fast, and he gets added speed bar and health when people fall below a certain health point. I just love Carnage's kit, very, very good character. Ms. Marvel is amazing with hero brawlers. She has a self-heal that is massive. She gets assists and she gets some ability energy, and she can taunt to take the damage off of other characters. I really like Ms. Marvel. She shines better, not in raids, but she can have her use there. Now Sabretooth, he also fits in pretty well with these other characters because he has self-healing. All 3 of the characters on this that I just mentioned have some self-healing. He is not the fastest character. He is at 101 speed, so he's a touch above the average character, the most common character. He is faster than Wolverine, but he hits it pretty hard. It doesn't seem like he does, but you really get into it. He does a fair amount of damage, and he has some pretty good moves and some self-healing, which is pretty good. Now, when considering it for raids, any character that heals himself in a raid has some advantage because that means they can go on for longer. Now, reason I have Ms. Marvel as an ultimate why not. That means she's usable, but without synergy, she's lacking a bit of a punch, and it takes ability energy to use her big self heal, so it's not a consistent thing, but she's still usable. Sabretooth is a basic yes because his self heal is good and reliable, and he does some good damage. He's okay speed. There's better characters to use, but he can fit pretty well on any team because he has some pretty good survivability. Carnage is an ultimate yes because he will, if you put him on a decent team, he will get a lot of self-healing and he'll be going a lot. He takes a ton of turns if you put him on a good raid team. If you count synergy, Carnage stays right where he is as an ultimate yes. Sabretooth takes a bit of a step back. That's because his best synergy is with the Brotherhood, and they're not really good at going long. So he is likely to be left on his own and can't carry a whole raid just as one character. And finally, we have Ms. Marvel, who actually takes a step up to become basic yes. So if you have synergy, Ms. Marvel is better than Sabretooth. Without synergy, Ms. Marvel is worse than Sabretooth. She is a basic yes because of 2 different synergies. Hero Brawlers, throw on a full Hero Brawlers team and that'll go really well. And you throw her on the Defenders and that will go really well. But now if we're talking just for one node, Sabretooth joins Carnage at the very top as an ultimate yes because the Brotherhood will tear down any one node you need, and he'll just do a lot of damage. Same as Carnage. Miss Marvel goes up to a special yes, because a full Heroes Brawler team can be quite devastating, really. So all three of these characters are incredible for tearing down one node, and they also provide some survivability because they have their ability to heal themselves, which is something that's really good in raids. Okay, I'm going to do a quick group of two because they fit really well together. First off, we have Miles. Miles has some pretty good speed. He is at, let's take a look, I believe it's 107, or 117, sorry, 117. He does some pretty good damage. I love his special. It's a very fun animation. He can take speed bar away and add slow. He can add disrupt, which can be very nice. And he gets some stealth and has a chance to evade when in stealth, which is really nice. Next we have Spider-Man, Peter Parker, of course. He also has some great speed. He's one speed slower than Miles. But he does have a really nice damage. His basic does some good damage. His special gives defense down for 2 turns, which can be huge at the right time before the right moves, especially in a raid, because it just allows a lot of damage to go out. His ultimate is a stun, and he has very high focus, so he normally gets his stun, and he has a nice little dodge chance, which is nice. Overall, Spider-Man's a great character. Both of the Spider-Man characters are great, but how do they perform in raids? Well, both of them perform pretty well. Miles is an ultimate why not. He has some utility and he's got speed, so good damage and utility that happens pretty often, and that's a really good thing. But Spider-Man is a step up, as a basic yes, and that's just because that defense down can be devastating, and that stun can come in very important in very specific situations. If you account synergy, they stay right where they are because they both hold their ground on their own and work well with a Hero Brawlers team, but they probably don't become infinitely better just on a Hero Brawlers team. So they kind of grow at the same rate as the average character with synergy. For a Suicide team, they both take steps up to become special yes. And that's on the Miss Marvel Hero Brawlers team. They're very good to take down one node. Maybe not the most survivable if you go full Hero Brawlers and Miss Marvel, but it's a very good team and fun to use. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 more groups of 2 to finish it off, just based on numbers. Now we have Black Panther. Black Panther is a character who a lot of people really overlook, but I think he is incredible. He can give slow, he can give himself offense up, and he can do a chain attack or a full team attack. And every time he kills, he can give himself a full turn when maxed out. So if you kill 3 people with his ultimate, he will take 3 bonus turns in a row, and that's incredible. He's got some really good speed. Let me show you that exact number. He does 125, so he is significantly faster than both Spider-Man characters. He's just really, really good. If you put him on a situation that's good for him, he can take out an entire team. He can just keep killing, keep killing, keep killing, and it's really cool to see when he gets going well. Next, we have Wolverine. Wolverine has something that I love in characters for raids, that self-heal. Issue is he is slow, and he just doesn't do as much damage as it seems he should. There's not really much else to say on Wolverine. Wolverine, even though he has the self-heal, which is huge for raids, I have him always all the way down as a special Y. There's just so many better characters to use than him, and better characters that have a self-heal. That speed is just significantly detrimental to him, and he doesn't heal himself fast enough because of that. Black Panther, on the other hand, his speed is everything. Even though he's a little more fragile, if you give him a good healer and keep him going, he can do so much damage because he's taking so many turns. Not quite what Carnage does, but it's similar concept to that. I know I have a video from a long time ago of Black Panther on a node in the Thanos raid, and he killed every single character in that node. I believe it was 40 characters. It was really beautiful thing to see, and he has a lot of potential with that. If you account synergy, Black Panther actually takes a step up to become a special yes. That's if you get him good heals, some good hero brawlers to work off of, and the fact that if he works with Miss Marvel, and Miss Marvel gets the assist on Black Panther's turn and finishes off a character, he still gets a speed bar, and that's just one of the best synergies in the game, if you ask me. And Wolverine stays right where he is because he shouldn't be used on a full Hero Brawlers team for this instance. However, on a Suicide team, Black Panther stays right where he is, and Wolverine takes one step up because if you have him charged up, his ultimate can do some pretty decent damage, but he's not fast enough to really be the one to look to help take down a difficult node. Okay, last two characters here. First off, we have Deadpool. Deadpool, when I first unlocked him, I did not like him very much. I thought he was underwhelming, but the more I have built him, the better he becomes. He does quite a lot of damage, and his passive, which seemed like a downgraded version of Wolverine's, actually can be very useful in a raid because there's a large amount of chance that he's going to get a lot of heal block on him, and he uses this heal block to heal himself. He's also a hero brawler, which works really well with Miss Marvel, so a very interesting character. He can't be blind, which is very nice, because he will heal himself from any blind. Gamora, she is very fast. She is missing her sword right now. Okay, that's weird. Okay, anyways, I'm going to turn her away so we don't have to look at that missing the sword because that just weirds me out a little. Anyway, she's really fast and does a lot of damage, goes well with the Guardians team, goes well on a Cosmic team, goes well with Hero Brawlers. Really versatile character, same with Deadpool, and they both hit really hard and do consistent damage because of their speed. So how does this translate to raids? Well, Deadpool on his own is a special why not, because he does have some survivability and does some damage. Pretty good character, but there's better options if you're throwing them on a random team, such as Gamora as a basic yes, because her really fast damage works really well. Her chain does good, and she has a chance to give herself full turns on kills with her special and ultimate. It really works well in a raid. But if you encounter synergy, Deadpool doesn't really go up because there's not a team built around him that's really great for a raid. However, Gamora takes a step up because she works really well with other Guardian characters, such as Star-Lord and Thanos, to make her a special yes. For Suicide teams, both of these characters shine. They're both special yes. You throw them with Miss Marvel, and they're going to do really good damage and help tear down a team really fast. Also, in this situation, you can throw Gamora in with Star-Lord, and that can help take down a team really fast because the speed and damage boost really makes her an incredible character. So those two characters are definitely worth using in raids, and that is what I think about all of the brawlers in the game and how they perform in raids. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't, because you're going to get a whole lot more content. One more category of these, and then a bunch of other stuff coming your way, so I really hope you guys enjoy that. If you want to make any comments or disagree about anything, feel free to do that down in the comments, or you can actually message me on Discord. There's a link to that down in the video description, alongside two other links. One's a Patreon, one's a Tippy, if you're interested in supporting the channel. And as always, I'm here.